What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know who this is. It's the truth, baby. It's the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight we got a special one for you guys, man. I tell you, we got the one, the only. We got K.E. Prince in the motherfucking building. I'm excited to have K.E. Prince on. But before we get into our conversation with Mr. Prince, let's take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, and that is healthvape.com. Now, listen, if you are one of those filthy fucking smokers or one of those filthy vapors, you need to go and check out healthvape.com. It is your healthy vaping alternative. All of their products, no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals. They help restore your energy while giving you the vital boost you need to get through your day. And they're vitamin infused. So go and check out healthvape.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount at your final purchase. Also, wherever you're tuning in, wherever you're finding this podcast, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. All that good shit. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please give us a 5-star fucking review. It helps with our analytics. It helps us reach more amazing people. It helps us bring more amazing conversations to more amazing people like yourselves. So get to clicking, tap the little red button and tap in, because you know this shit is popping 7 days a week. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into it now with my conversation with the one, the only K.E. motherfucking Prince. Yeah, baby. Boom, we're live, baby. K.E. Prince in the house. Bro, I appreciate you for joining. What's going on, man? What's good?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Not much, just a typical, life, traveling around the world. You know how it is. What about yourself?
Bro, you know how exactly the same, man. Bit never ends, bro. Always busy. Bro, I'm excited to have you on, man, because I feel like we've been talking about doing this for a long time, man. We've been on shows together over the last year or two, man, and always a great conversation with you, bro. Always great to catch up with you, man. And I'm really excited for this interview, bro. Thank you for joining me, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. Look, I appreciate it. Always, the past year or two, we've been on shows, great conversations. We've been chatting, we've been having laughs, shooting the shit, as they say. Always. I just, I've heard the introduction earlier and I appreciate it. But man, where's the once in a lifetime talent? You know how it is.
Once in a lifetime talent, bro.
Brother, once in a lifetime talent. You know how it is.
Hey, how could I leave that out, bro? I apologize, man. I apologize. But dude, how did the once in a lifetime talent gimmick come up? Like, what was the inspiration for you for that? Because that's pretty cool, man. I like the saying. It's pretty rad.
For me, I look around at all these like other talent internationally, nationally, whichever, and they're kind of their monikers, their nicknames, whichever you want to call it, was very like, I don't know, it never really appealed to me. When you look back in the day, what really appealed was the larger than life perspective, was the larger than life outlook of a wrestler, or the wrestler being larger than life themselves. So for me, what really stuck was, I am a once in a lifetime talent. Nobody could touch me. Nobody could be like me. No one could be the person that I am, even if they tried to. On their best day, they could never touch me. So that's where the once in a lifetime talent comes from, because no matter what, they will never ever be the talent that I am. Yeah.
So, like, is that just a confidence thing? Like, have you always been overly confident going into what you do?
I've always been overly confident in everything I do because my thinking is this: if you're not confident in yourself, if you're not confident in everything you do, and you really believe in everything you do yourself, who else is going to believe in you? You know, we live in a pretty cruel and negative world right now. People would love to see someone fail and someone to really not achieve their goals, right? People are so pessimistic and depressed in their own selves where they would rather see someone's fail to put it on them than succeed. So if you don't believe in yourself when you're down, who else is going to believe in you?
But why is that? Why do people like get off on seeing people fail?
Because they're just failures themselves. Like, honestly, tell me, why would someone, like, for example, you have your own podcast, right? You
Mhm.
probably get hate, 100%. You
Yeah,
know what?
sometimes.
I reckon, sometimes, yeah. I reckon, half, I reckon half of
Once or
these
twice.
people, only,
Yeah, yeah.
I reckon these people that hate on you, them themselves have always aspired to have a podcast. But
Mm.
you know what having a podcast takes? It takes
A lot of
charisma,
time.
it takes confidence, it takes time, it takes
Mm.
self-belief. And it also, as you know, it takes like it kind of makes you rethink everything because you open yourself to criticism. Like, you're putting
Yeah,
yourself out there. So
100%.
people would rather see you fail just so they can be like, ha ha ha, he didn't succeed and achieve at it. Now I feel better that I didn't do it because he got embarrassed. I didn't get embarrassed. That's how
Mm.
people are. But you know what I say? Fuck the people. How are you going to succeed if you don't fail? The only way to get better is by failing, right? Luckily for me, I never fail. That's why I'm the once in a lifetime talent. But at the same time, you have to be confident in yourself. You have to have that self belief. You have to have the optimism to know that you push yourself. No one's going to sit there and push you. People would say, I'm here for you. People will say, I got you. People will say, I'm by your side. All that bullcrap. But really, when it comes down to it, how many people will actually be there for you at your lowest moment?
100% right, man. And you know what? It's interesting, and it reminds me of you know, of certain, like, by looking at it, you know, that the people that want to sort of see you fail are these people that are too scared to sort of, you know, give something a go themselves. And it looks like, you know, the saying was pretty much like winners are just someone are quitters that just didn't quit. Or something along those
That's it.
lines. You know what I mean? Like, the winners are just
100%.
losers that didn't give up or just tried one more time.
That's it. 100%. And that's how it is. That's how it's meant to be, right? Like, if you don't try something, right? How the hell are you gonna know if you're good at it? Tell me. No one. We have a saying in Arabic. It goes like this: "ما حدا طلع من بطن أمه معلم," which means no one came out of his mother's stomach experience.
Mm.
Nobody ever no one ever touches a soccer ball, for example, or a footy ball or basketball, and is like, I'm good at this. You're sure you might have some talent, but we know how many times people have talent don't really go far or succeed because they rely too much on talent without hard work.
Mm.
You know what's that saying? Hard work without talent gets you nowhere, or something like that. You know? Wait, no, yeah, that's the one. I think so.
Well,
Regardless,
yeah, 'cause I remember like Conor McGregor said like something similar. Like, he goes, "This isn't talent. This is hard work." He goes, "I'm not
exactly.
talented." He goes, "I just put the work in and it's paid off."
There you go. And it goes back to everybody knows, in soccer, you got two of the greatest ever to ever live, playing in the same generation. Lionel
Sure.
Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mm.
One is super talented, which is Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo was just a product of his hard work. Just kept pushing in, pushing, pushing, putting in the hours, putting in the work, and there you go. He is one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever, in my opinion. So
Once in a lifetime.
he 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 gets the once in a lifetime. Let me tell you that. Brother Cristiano gets the once in a lifetime. Let me tell you that. But that's the thing. It all comes down to self-belief. Like, how many times, let me tell you something. When you want to start doing wrestling, when you want to start doing wrestling, podcasting, or podcasting in general, or
Yeah.
whichever it is you want to do in life, to I know for myself, I really had to sit and think. I knew I could do it, but do I want to or should I? It's always that fear, right? Like, when before you jump on a roller coaster and you're about to shit yourself, you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
that looks scary. And then you
Yeah.
jump on it and you're like, fuck, that was fun. Let me go again.
Mm.
That's all it is. Let's take that first step. Once you take that first step, you're better. And you know what's funny? This is what's funny. people will try to shit on you. People would be like, nah, don't do it. You're not gonna be good at it. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna embarrass yourself. And then that is what makes me want it even more. I thrive off chaos. I thrive under pressure. That's
Mm.
me. I love when people are like, you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna do it. You sure, motherfucker? Let me show you if I'm gonna do it or not. That's what makes that's what gets me going. You think I'm not gonna be able to do this? You think I'm not gonna succeed? Well, let me show you how wrong you are. And that's what it is. And then what's funny is that once you believe in yourself, you put in that hard work, you help people succeed as well. The most important thing is you don't want to succeed alone, because success alone isn't fun. Everybody knows that. You can be a multi-millionaire, but being a multi-millionaire with the boys is 1,000 times nicer and better.
100%. But you know what? You want to bring people up with you, man. You want to bring people up to
Exactly. Exactly. So being being successful alone isn't great. But then when you succeed and when you believe in yourself and you put in the hard work, you put in the hours, you be a genuine human and you help people, that's when the haters start turning into believers, because they're like, I want to jump on this bandwagon. Because
Yeah.
let me tell you something. If there is a good person, a wrestler here in Australia that they hate and they despise and they're hating on, as soon as he goes overseas or she goes overseas or they get given a contract to any company, they're going to be the first ones there saying, I knew him. I bought all his or her merch. I was their biggest supporter. Go fuck
but
yourself.
that's the case in any fucking industry, man, not just in wrestling, bro. Like entertainment or whatever, you know what I mean? Like the clout chasers come out of nowhere when someone that they shared the same air with at something, if they can get something out of it themselves, people are going to jump at that shit regardless of the industry, I believe.
You're very true. You're very true. And look, I'm someone that always believes in second chances, third chances. People make mistakes, people learn, people grow up, people mature. But you never want to really you never want to personally know anyone that's a bandwagon, because they really aren't genuinely happy for you. If someone's just a bandwagon mate or bandwagon supporter or whatever, this person will turn from the slightest touch. Anything will make him turn against you.
But it's the same as like the fence sitters as well. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll just sit here and see how this turns out, and then I'll just fall off
Yeah,
the side if it goes well. You know what I mean?
that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. They're just like, oh, they're playing neutral, play in the middle. That's it. They go whichever side's winning, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's like I'll go for the winner. You know what I mean? Like that old
Literally.
adjective, right? Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go for the people that are winning.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that's
so
kind of
what?
like, sorry.
Go on. No, go on.
No, I was just gonna say that's kind of like the way that, for the most part, that you can kind of see how things are as well. And it's like, oh, if the person won't let that, that clout chaser around, oh well, that's when the machine guns come out and I start dropping bombs on you and try and destroy you and tear you down. You know what I mean? And that's the thing as well, bro. Like you see people that do have some certain level of success. You know what I mean? They have these people that come back into their lives just to try and bring them down as well, man. And that's something that we've seen a lot.
It is, and that's where you know you've got to really pick and choose who you let around you, especially into your inner circle. You got to choose who you think will benefit you in life, and it's not even benefiting you in the sense of benefiting you, but who could benefit you as a mate. Like this is a genuine mate of mine. Like I
Yeah.
know he's not going to turn on me. Like I want a mate. Let me tell you something. Uh, I got what? One eye on my enemies, two eyes on my mates.
Yeah.
Because the enemies are usually who? Close mates. You know what I
100%.
mean? That's where they come from. You don't get an enemy from, you don't become an enemy of a random. Why would they be your enemy? Your enemy is usually someone that knows a lot about you, or at least has an understanding about you, you know, or what you're about. And they really hate you for a reason. I don't think anybody could really hate a random for no reason. I don't think that's possible, unless there's something wrong with you. But aside from that, I don't really think anyone could hate anyone deeply.
Yeah, I mean, well, it just depends, bro. There's people out there that look at people like take wrestling, for example, right? That's the whole thing of a heel, is to get a whole bunch of random people in a room to fucking hate you, and people
Yeah,
watching on TV to hate you. You know what I mean? But like, if you went, that's like on surface level shit, though, right? Like, if
yeah.
we're talking down like deep personally, of like
Mm.
a person who's portraying a heel on the television or
Yeah,
whatever it may be, is not going up to that particular person saying, you, that fucking ugly fucking person there with the ugly fucking haircut and the fucking cross eye and the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a personal attack. There's no personal attacks on it.
100%. I agree in what you're saying, but I was talking in a more like general sense, outside from
Yeah,
wrestling.
sure.
Aside from wrestling, um, like most fans are annoying. Most wrestling fans smell, literally. Most fans are ugly. I'll tell you that. I haven't seen a good-looking fan at an event in a while. I'll tell you that, man or female. I wouldn't touch any of them with a 10-foot pole. Why do you think I don't go through the crowd? Sack that. Think I want to get any of their germs on me? That's horrible, bro. You think they can pay for my shoes? My Yeezys are worth $650. You think any single one of them can afford it?
So what? You never go out anywhere near the crowd at any show?
Never. Really. Really, really, really. Beforehand, never. After, nope. I'm all good. I don't need them. I don't need their money. I don't need their support. I don't need nothing from them. They know. They come to the shows and they see me and they see how I am and they hate me. But you know why they hate me? As we were talking earlier, they're jealous. They can never be me. Look at
Mm,
me. Look at them. They see my talent. They see my potential. They hate that. They're jealous of that. You know
mm.
why? Because I know my talent, but I also believe in it. It's all about self belief. I don't need your affirmation. I don't need your review affirmation. I don't need you to tell me, we love you. I don't need that. You think I care? All I care about is the prize. All I care about is being the best. And that's why I am that's why I am why I am.
So what made you decide to pack up and go to Melbourne? What was the whole driving point for that?
So that was a family decision.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just a singular decision that I had.
Sure.
There's a lot that goes into it. So it's not even like I should say like I just made the decision, I packed up and I went a
Mhm.
lot that went into the decision that probably will take a whole ass podcast itself. So yeah, family decision, we moved to Melbourne, and that's where I was. And then when I moved to Melbourne, I realized that I wasn't doing. I first moved there and I realized very quickly, because I also lived overseas for a bit. And I
Yeah.
realized very quickly at a young age is that when you move to a new area, country, city, whichever, it will take you at least a year and a half to 2 years to make friends that are like genuine friends, that you'd want to hang out and kick back with. And then when I went, I can't remember, 18 at the time when I went, maybe
Yeah.
19. Um, when I went, I realized that at that time, being in uni and all that, everybody already had their clique. Everybody already had that friend group. Nobody really goes and makes best mates at uni or whatever. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
don't drink. I don't do that shit. That's horrible. And I don't go clubbing and none of that stuff. So it was more knowing people through work and uni. And then I started wrestling. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start wrestling. Why not? I can do this. So I went and I started wrestling. I walked in there on the tryout. I was the best. As soon as I walked in, I was like, "This is
who,
easy."
who are you? Where did you go and start training with in Melbourne? MCW.
MC, yeah, MCW is where I started. I started training at MCW. I walked in. I was like, "This is easy. I will easily be the best at this."
How'd you go in
Um,
the tryout?
I went really well, actually. As I said, I smashed absolutely everything. I
Come on,
like,
man. No. Like, did you blow up at all? Come on, be honest.
nah,
It's me here,
nah,
bro. Come on now.
bro. Hey, I respect you. I know you say the truth, and you know me. Why I'm blunt as is. I'm
Yeah.
blunt as someone can be. I don't talk shit. I smashed that. I pumped that tryout. It was nothing. It was easy. I looked at him and I'm like, come on, bro. Is this the best you can do?
Who
Like,
was in
you
the
got to remember.
Who was in the tryout with you?
Um, so with the tryout with me was Anth Kava.
Yeah.
Uh, we had Hector Jones there as well. We had Tony Villani as well. Um, I'm trying to remember. No, Skylar Cruz came after 6 months. Um, yeah, those were pretty much it that were in my tryout.
Yeah.
Or
Wow.
the
Jeez.
or the ones that stayed.
Yeah. Right.
The ones
How
that
many
stayed.
How many
Yeah,
people were in the tryout? Was it a big turnout?
maybe 25, 30.
That's pretty big. How many were left
Yeah.
standing at the end of it?
Everybody was left standing at the end of it,
Mm.
but us four were the only ones that stayed wrestling.
Really? Out of 25.
Yeah, us
Is
four were
that
the only ones that.
is that kind of a regular like number to see from a tryout? Like you get like 25 to 30, but then like four will sort of keep going with it, or five?
I feel that it is. I feel that it is, around the 15, 20, 25, 30 mark, just around the 15 to 30 mark. Um, it is, but then a lot of people come and they think like, oh, this is easy. And then they come in and they're like, this is horrible. Like, because you got to understand, we are world-class athletes. You got to understand when you walk into that ring, it is life or death. The smallest mistake we already know how many wrestlers have died in a ring, how many wrestlers have been injured in a ring where they can no longer work an actual job or wrestle anymore. So we aren't people that are just jump in the ring and do it and you can succeed. Like if you are not the top of the top, the best of the best, if you're not top tier, you cannot. No one would want to wrestle you to begin with because they don't. No one wants to put their life at risk. And secondly, why would I wrestle you and have a shitty match if you're gonna make my match shitty? Like I understand gaining experience, and all that crap, but at the same time, like someone that's detrimental to you, I don't think that's the way someone wants to go.
No, and a shitty match, with everything being recorded and filmed these days is out there, right? So you don't want to have, certain pieces of content of you wrestling out there that aren't to a certain standard.
100%. But at the same time, if you go back and you see any wrestler, international or even nationally, some of the best wrestlers, they've always had a crappy match. Sometimes it's out of your hands. You do what you got to do. You stick to it, and you put on a show for the fans, for the paying customers. It is what it is. Doesn't mean you got to be happy about it, but it is what it is, and that's what happens sometimes. But going back to your question about the tryouts, a lot of times that does happen where people come and they're like, yeah, this, tryout easy. They come, they throw up, they blow up, they can't handle it, they get gassed, they leave. Sometimes people pass the tryout, they get they get in to the academy, and then while they're training, they're like, yeah, nah, I don't want to bump, and then they just leave. A lot of people don't stick with it,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. This business isn't for everybody. It's very, very. I know there's a lot of wrestling going on in the world right now, but there's also a lot of wrestlers. So you got to be really good to stick out, and it's not for everybody.
That's the whole saying. What is it now that where people are saying wrestling's for everybody, right? You don't believe that statement's true?
No. No. You're either going to come and raise the level of the wrestling standard or just leave. Just leave. Wrestling is not for everybody. No, I think that's incorrect. I think wrestling is for the best. I think wrestling is for the people that want it, for the people that put in the effort. Don't come train once every 6 months and then tell me you want to wrestle. Where are you when I'm there putting in the hours? Where are you when I'm there doing the training? Where are you when I'm running the ropes, taking the bumps, doing the burpees, going to the gym? Where are you? You want to come every 6 months and be like, I want to wrestle? No. Well, you're just going to bring the product down.
I've always said wrestling is for everybody, but it's for everybody who's prepared to put in the work. And that depends if you're a wrestler, you're a referee, producer, manager, whatever it may be. If you are there and you are being and you are part of it, you're lucky to be part of this business, put the fucking work in. You know what I mean? Look good. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you are there to do it to the best of your ability.
100%. 100%. You probably did phrase it in a better way of saying it's for everybody that's willing to put in the work. But then you have people that put in the work for a bit, let's say year, 2, 3, whatever, and then they think they're owed something. Like, why do you think you're owed something? Oh, I don't want to train. I've been here for a while. No. Look at the best. Do you think the best stop training? All right, let me tell you something. Forget about wrestling. Let me talk to you about other sports. Let's talk about someone like LeBron James. He's been playing for 18 or 19 years now. He is still the GOAT. Why? He still trains multiple times a week. And he is still playing at the age of 38 or 39 now, like he was playing when he was 20, and probably even better. Let's go Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. They train multiple times a week. Why? Because they're the best. To stay the best, you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the hours. You've got to train. Like
to stay sharp, you got to keep that knife, sharpened.
Exactly. And aside from that, how are you going to get better? Like with wrestling, especially in this day and age, it is always evolving. It is always changing. It was always switching and turning. You've got to evolve and adapt to the times. You were constantly learning. No one could ever be like, I've memorized all of wrestling. I know everything. Nobody does.
Mm.
Like the best of the best, you know, they know what their character is. They know what they do as their character or who they are and how to portray that to the fans. And then the fans, they the wrestlers are so good that the fans know what the wrestlers are doing. The fans are like, okay, I understand what he's trying to portray to me.
Yeah.
And that's where the best succeed because they can do it effortlessly.
But
They can do
even
it
the
seamlessly.
but even the best, they still need to train because they
Of
need to, like,
course,
you know what I mean? Like even the best wrestlers in the world, they still need to have their shit looking crisp and
of course.
yeah,
Like,
all that was
uh, like I'm trying to think about like let's say some of the best wrestlers in the world now. Like they 100% train. They probably go in there every now and again because come on, the best wrestlers in the world are resting what multiple times a week anyways. So the way
easily.
I see it,
Yeah.
if you're resting multiple times a week, that is your training. If you're resting non-stop. But when a wrestler gets injured, for example, that's used to wrestling multiple times a week, once they get injured, they have to go back and do a bit of training before they go in because the ring rust is a real thing, and you got to get
Time.
that muscle memory back. You know what I mean? You got to get that time in, you know,
Mm.
to get better. And that's the thing. Like when you're resting 3 times a week, 4 times a week, it's different to when you're having one match a week. So if you're having one match a week, you need to go in and wrestle, but and train, or even any sport. Let's say you,
Football
excuse
for
me,
me.
like yeah, football, NRL, AFL, whichever. If you're having once a match once a week, you need to go during the week and train. But if you're a wrestler and you're wrestling 3, 4 times on the indies or 3, 4 times in general, you know that is your training. And then you know wrestling is very, very taxing on the body. Like while
100%.
wrestling 3, 4 times, you like sometimes injuries happen at training more often than the actual shows because it's
Same
the
with
little things.
same with combat sports. Yeah, same thing with boxing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this. This is easy. Let's say like a leapfrog. You go and you do a leapfrog at training. You think it's easy. Bang! You land. You twist your ankle. Now you're fucked. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's that's where wear and tear comes in.
100%. And that's when overdoing it comes in, overtraining comes in, because that's the like the probably the thing as well that you got to like monitor the most
Hmm.
being a wrestler is like is the wrestling training that you got to do, which I'm assuming is a couple times a week, right?
Hmm.
And then put in like regular gym training, whether it's strength and conditioning, hit training, whatever it is that you do to keep yourself fit. On top of that, like your body's in exercise mode, what 5-6 days a week?
Exactly. And that's the thing. You got your exercise. Like as you said, you're exercising consistently. And aside from exercising consistently, you're also like working consistently, like as in working within the ring, whether you're working on shows, you know, and you're in constant state of like, I got to keep going, I got to keep going. That's why recovery is such a big thing, right? Like sometimes, you know, sometimes to fit in your gym workouts, you have to do it before a show, like just the way it is, you know. Even if it's a quick workout, you just got to fit it in before the show, you know, and that's just the nature of the business. Like you've got to be able to keep up with the schedule. That's the thing where it comes in as well. You know, sometimes you wrestle like 2, 3 times a weekend, like you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 3 shows in a row. You know, then you have let's say training Monday and Wednesday, that's 5 times of wrestling, and then you have gym as well. So it's like, damn, like what? How many times are you exercising within that week? 7, 8 times, 9 times with
Yeah.
wrestling on the weekend and training. Like it's a
So,
lot.
so how do you have a balance of all that shit, bro? Because like, I mean, you coming from a Middle Eastern family, bro. I know what Middle Eastern families are like. Most of the time, very close knit, lots of family functions.
Mm.
How do you balance that plus training, plus wrestling training, plus shows? Because that's a pretty hectic schedule, and then put on top of that a shoot job on as well. And if
Mm.
studying is still a part of your life as well at the moment, I'm not sure if it is, but that's a pretty hectic schedule. How do you balance it all?
Sacrifices. Let me tell you that there's a lot of sacrifices that go into it. I've sacrificed a lot, and I still will sacrifice a lot. I'll tell you that. You know me, man. I'm Lebanese. You know, my background's Lebanese. You know, I'm 24. If I wasn't doing wrestling, let me tell you this right now. You heard it here first, folks. Folks, I would have been married with at least 3 kids by now. Let me tell you that. That's not even a lie. That's a shoot. I would have been married at like 18.
She would have been flown in from Lebanon.
No. I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. I'm happy.
No
You know.
imports.
No. Can't do imports. Not for
No.
me. Not for me. They're lovely people, they're beautiful girls and everything, but you know,
Cool.
I need to hear that Aussie accent. That's what I need to hear. On the
Yeah,
girls.
there you go. We'll find KE Prince a bride by the end of this episode. If you're interested, ladies, hit him up on social media. What's your Insta, bro? Let him know.
KE Prince PW.
There you go. Hit him
K
up if you're single. You want to take out
yeah.
KE Prince on a date. Maybe take him to a wrestling show.
KE Prince PW, Instagram, Twitter, KE Prince on Facebook. You know, if you want to book me as well, you can go through the DMs, and my Gmail is KE Prince PW as well at gmail.com for bookings as well. But yeah, man, like it's to balance it is hard. I've sacrificed a lot. I will continue to sacrifice. I know, like
Sure.
people say I've sacrificed a lot, but like it's not me saying I've done so much. Like it's a fact. Like it's a given. I know I will. You know,
Well,
like
I was just going to say, like, professional wrestling, combat sports, things like that. People don't really, I feel, understand how selfish the lifestyle of that can be. Where it's like combat sports and professional wrestling sound very, very similar. Where it's like, to be successful, you have to do so much level of training. You have to be being consistently at the gym regularly. Where it's like, going out with friends, relationships and all that sort of stuff can struggle from that, right?
100%. And as I said, which was a full shoot. Like if I was not in wrestling, I would have been married by now with kids. And like, you know, I've sacrificed so much. I continue to sacrifice. You know, there's a lot of functions with mates that I don't go to, events, kickbacks, hanging out, trips that I don't go with mates. There's a lot of family functions that, as you said, big family, big events, a lot of birthdays, a lot of this, a lot of that. A lot of it I miss out on. For wrestling, you know, Ramadan just ended. I took a bit of a cool down in Ramadan because it was different. It was Ramadan. But now that I'm out of Ramadan, it's like all guns blazing. You know, I can't miss nothing no more. You know, I took a month off. You know, Ramadan, I was relaxing. I didn't train. You know, it was family, spiritual, all that stuff. Now that I'm back, you know, all guns blazing, back in the world of professional wrestling, back into everything. You know, like, and that's the thing. I even took a break off from the gym for a month, and then like going back into it, it's like you've got to make the time. Like right now, after I finish this podcast, whatever time we finish, I'm going to the gym. You know what I mean? And like that's the way it is. You either put in the work or you get left behind. You want to be the best, you got to be the best. You got to act like the best. You got to walk like the best. You got to talk like the best. You got to have the mentality of the best. That's the way it is. You know, and that's how you got to balance it. Like the days I don't go wrestling training, I go to the gym. You know, and then I go to the gym on the weekends as well, Saturday, Sunday, to fit it in. Sometimes if I miss a day to unforeseen circumstances, then I have to go to the gym as well when I have resting. Very hard on the body, but it is what it is. My mindset is always this. I'm 24 now. I'm at the age where I can push and push and push and sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice. I would rather push and sacrifice at this age in my 20s and give it my all. So that way, when I'm in my 30s and mid 30s, when I'm still in my prime, I can rest, relax, be earning good money and enjoy my life. So that way, when I'm 35 and 40, I'm not like, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did this and that and that. Regardless, you know, regardless of anything, it always comes back to this. I got mad inheritance waiting for me, bro. I'm a KE Prince. You know how it is. I've got cars, I've got palaces and mansions all over the world. I don't give a crap, really. But you know why I'm doing this? Because I love it. I love professional wrestling. I love wrestling. I love being there and showing the people how I am better than them, how my life is better than theirs. As you see, bro, they see me. I'll tell you, if I saw any woman in attendance that I like, I can walk up to her, grab her by the hand, and she'll walk off with me, and no one could say a thing.
Come on, man.
That's the truth.
Come on, bro. Hey, there's no mirrors in your house, bro. Come on, man.
That's the truth. I've got a lot of mirrors, man. Really expensive mirrors. You know, they always tell me the truth. Come on, you're the truth. You know the truth.
Hey. But let me ask you this, man. With you said you took a month off for Ramadan. Which for people who don't know, Ramadan, very spiritual and religious holiday for the Muslim culture, or people of the Muslim culture, I should say. Do you usually do that every Ramadan? Like take that month off from training, gym, everything like that, and disconnect from that side of the world?
This was the first year,
That was the first year.
you know,
How did how
first
did you
year.
how did you find it? Because like obviously during Ramadan, no eating, drinking, smoking, or consuming of anything from sun
Mhm,
up to sundown. How did you find it? Was it easier on the body? Oh, well, obviously, would have been easier on the body not training, and
mhm.
sort of like the differences. Like, how did you feel?
Um, I'm thankfully I'm used to it. I usually like there's a lot of people when Ramadan starts, just because of the change of everything, they get really sick just within the first week or first couple of days, and they're all right. Thankfully, I've never experienced that yet, so I'm very fortunate for that. I felt very, comfortable. I felt fine, really. I wasn't really hungry. I wasn't
Yeah,
thirsty, because there's something about me, and it's that I don't have an addictive personality to anything at all. No drinks, no smokes, no vapes, no nothing. I can stop anything like that if I wanted to. And the reason being is because I hate letting anything dictate my life. I dictate my life. I dictate what I want. I dictate how I feel. So I hate letting anything dictate it. So, like, for me, it was easy. Thankfully, now we broke our fast a bit earlier towards the tail end of Ramadan or the second half of Ramadan. But like I don't really feel it. It wasn't that hot as well to get thirsty,
yeah,
and I wasn't getting. I think 1 or 2 days I was like really hungry, but aside from that, I wasn't. And Ramadan's all about perspective, and that's something also want to achieve about in with resting is for people to really see um the Muslim religion or community or culture for like what we really are in the sense of like we're people that are very, as you know, being Lebanese as well, we're very hospitable people.
I'm not
You come over.
Lebanese.
I don't. I,
Lebanese.
no, no. I mean, how Lebanese
Oh
are.
yeah,
Yeah, in the sense of you come over, you're eating whether you like it or not. You come over, you're having a coffee whether you like it or not. Like it's not even up to you.
100%.
You don't get a choice. You gotta do it. Like that's
It's
how it
like
is.
you go to an Arab mum's house. It's like you're gonna eat. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you've just eaten. It's like saying no is like you might as well just take your pants down and take a shit on her floor.
yeah, yeah. It's very disrespectful. So the whole thing for me as well is like we have Sami Zayn, Mansoor, Mustafa Ali as well, some like well-known Muslim wrestlers right now in WWE, and they do it as well. They didn't even have the choice to stop during Ramadan. They had to keep going. You know what I mean? Um, and I had the fortunate choice to take off. It was my first year taking off from all training, wrestling, gym, and all that. And yeah, like I said, my goal is to show people that it is hard, and it is because culture and community, it's different, but that's the whole point of us living in a democracy and living in a multicultural society, is that we all fit in and we're the same people. Like
Yeah.
we love one another, we are open to one another, we accept one another, and we support one another. And
Mm.
like sometimes people might have like a sour taste in their mouth because like when I was in Melbourne, you'd be surprised how many people weren't exposed to Muslims. Like I spoke to someone who was in his 40s and I was like 20 at the time, and he was like, I've never met a Muslim before. And he then
Really?
he start yeah, and he started asking me questions that were very um racist. But he didn't mean it from a racist point of view. He was just asking. He was like,
Like,
is this
like
true?
what do you mean?
Like I would start asking, I can't remember exactly what he asked right now, but I remember he asked these questions and I was thinking in my head, I was like, I know he came from a genuine like uh
Not a
curiosity.
yeah. He's not
Yeah,
being
yeah,
a cunt. Yeah, it's not a
yeah.
cunty.
Yeah, because he only believes what he saw on TV, right? So it was like he's like, "Oh, are you like?" He would ask questions. I can't remember, but I remember like I was thinking in my head, looking at him. I'm like, I know this guy's not being like a dog, and he's just curious. But if this guy was serious, I would have punched him in the head right now. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm like, are you like, and I sat there and I explained to him like, no, that's not true. Like we don't do those things. Whatever you see is incorrect. It's just on the news.
Mm.
He met me and he was like, oh, you're such like a gentleman and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we are. We're just normal people. You know what I mean? But people do have a sour taste in their mouth, and the people don't really and that's the thing about nowadays. People don't really take the time to just speak to someone and understand, right?
Mm.
People don't do that. Like they just want
Well,
to.
you know, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Billy Dibb, and I've also
Yep.
spoken to his brother, interviewed his younger brother, Huey Dibb.
Yep.
And both of those guys, they grew up in Engadine or in Sutherland Shire, which is a very, Sutherland Shire for, Lebanese Muslims to be growing up. And they were saying, it's like, yeah, we got teased all the time, because we were different. There wasn't kids like us, you know what I mean? He goes, but our dad always said, he's like, hey, don't fight them, don't be angry, just kill them with kindness. Just be loving and show them that we're genuine people, because like by being aggressive to them backwards, it's not going to get, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to achieve anything, right? It's just going to have this,
100%.
yeah, you know what I mean? But if you win it with kindness, you'll win these people over.
100%. And that's what our religion's all about. It's all about acceptance. It's all about kindness. It's all about lovingness. It's all about being respectful to people and being tolerant of people, And that's as well like what's going on in Palestine now. Most people don't know it. A lot of people don't keep up with it, don't know what's going on with Palestine. You know how there's got literally like ethnically cleansing, Israel's ethnically cleansing Palestinians just for the fact that they're Palestinians, like they believe they have, well, the Israelis believe they have a right to own their country, like, or that country. And Palestine's always been about like, you're welcome to live here. Like there's videos in World War II where Palestine was literally, the Palestinians were waiting on the water while the Jews fled Europe, and they had baskets, gift baskets, and they're waving at them and they're like, you're welcome, come, come, come. And then you got what's happening now, and people don't know about it. It's very sad to see people are getting kicked out of their houses just because they're Palestinian. Like kids are getting murdered on the street. They're getting sniped in their head. They're getting bombed just because they're Palestinian, and people don't realize that. And that's something that for me, if with everything aside, with wrestling all aside, for me, that's very, very important for me, that if I could get a reach or be able to speak to anybody, would be to open people's eyes to what is actually going on in Palestine, because it's very, very sad and it's bigger than all of us. The idea of like here, all live together in harmony, peacefulness, and that's what my religion teaches people about. So there's that. But
I think the most part, most religions like tell the same kind of narrative, which is to live in peace and harmony and everything like that. And I think that the major problems that people have, like how different religious groups battle for the most part, is like battling over like what they're reading in yeah, man, like just reading, like arguing over like whose Bible is better, bro, like, or whose book, like, in the reality, man, like you're fighting over who's got the better imaginary friend. And I don't say that to be disrespectful to people in religion or who believe in religion. That's not at all. But it's like, I mean, it comes down to like, okay, you believe in one thing, right? Now you can believe in something else, right? And it's cool. You can have these different beliefs. That's okay. That's more than okay. But I feel like when the extremists that turn around and they start taking it, going, well, no, because if you don't believe the same God that I believe in, I'm sorry, buddy, but you got to go.
No, I mean, you're right.
You don't have the same belief that I have. Well, no, I'm sorry. We can't have that.
No, you're right. And at times it is like that, and it's a shame, right? Because when two people actually sit down from different religions and they talk and they exchange books and they read each other's books, they become like closer, in the sense of, I respect you and your religion. I respect what your religion says. Like again, it comes to that point we were talking about before the show. I agree to disagree with you. There is no reason why we cannot have differing beliefs without being respectful to one another. There's no reason why me and you can't have two different perspectives on life or anything for that matter, and not respect each other. Like, why not? Like, isn't the whole purpose of a democracy and to be in a multicultural society the different mixing of various beliefs and religions and backgrounds? Like, who says, for example, that you or me got to believe what an Indian does or says? But isn't that the beauty of living in a multicultural society? Or even not even like an Asian or an Indian or European or American,
or anyone from any different
literally anyone. Like, isn't the beauty like Like you, not I'm Lebanese, and I'm sitting here having a conversation with you. Or like, yeah, I'm Australian and born and raised in Australia and everything. But like,
Mm,
obviously, there's some like cultural differences in where we come from and whatever. But that does
sure.
not mean like we can't get along or we can't agree to disagree. And that's what it comes to investing for me. Where it comes to this, it's like I stay away from politics, right? I hate politics. I'm not someone that cares about politics at all in general, in wrestling, outside of wrestling, all of that stuff.
Sure.
And I stay away from any kind of drama. All right. So for me, it's I'm respectful to everybody. I shake everybody's hand, no matter who they are on the show. Everyone, from the crew, the production crew, to the commentators, to the wrestlers, to everybody backstage, everything. Respectful, kind, tolerance, like just being a lovely person to everybody. I come in
Mm,
there, I wrestle, I do what I love, and that's what matters. And that's I think what more people need to start incorporating into their life, whether regardless of wrestling or not. You go to work. Let's say there's someone you work that you don't agree with. Be respectful, be kind, agree to disagree. Because I don't understand. Like this is like preschool shit, right? Like I don't get it. Like in preschool, the first thing they'll tell you is you probably like when you're a child, your parents will sit down to you before you go to school, for example, and be like, "You're not gonna get along with everybody. You're not gonna be friends with everybody, but you're
right.
meant to respect everybody, no matter of what they think or what they say or what their decisions are, what their belief is, or what their sex is, for example. You're meant to sit there and believe. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't agree in say one, two, three. Doesn't mean that if you agree with it, doesn't mean that I can't be friends with you just because we agree to disagree. And that's where it comes back to this day and age where people they say they're woke woke or opinionated or open or they're like yeah we accept everybody, but then if you don't agree with their beliefs they become very very hostile, and it's happened on multiple occasions worldwide.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we've seen, in society. We've seen it in wrestling, and you see it a lot where and it's almost like arguments that people have, and I don't know whether it's a generational thing where it's happened. Like, dude, like I'm 41 years of age, dude, so I've got a few years on you. Whereas, like, I mean, like from
You don't look a day older than 25, I'll tell
hey
you
man,
that.
you're a gentleman and a half, bro. But like looking at it from my perspective, bro, I remember a time where like we could have a difference of opinion and just go, huh, okay, whatever, and keep and just move on with our lives. Whereas I
Hmm.
feel now it's like it's a big deal to not agree with the majority of the norm, or it's not, acceptable to have an opinion which may not be similar to the one of this party over here or for whatever reason.
You're 100% right. And you know what? It comes back. It is a generational thing, I believe. And it's also because of entitlement, because this generation is very, very entitled. This generation has not seen tough times. This generation has not seen trying times. Like, what's that quote? I don't know the quote off by heart, and I'm probably going to butcher it. But it's like, tough times to create strong men create uh, easy times, and easy times
Yeah,
create
yeah,
weak men. In brief, and that's what it is. And this generation is very entitled. This generation is very they have instant gratification. They have instant return on anything they do. Because of social media, you know what I mean? Like let's say
sure.
you and me are arguing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Block, bang. They don't face the truth. They don't face facts. They don't want to face facts. They just block you. Like this is my perception on life. I love discussing, right?
Mm.
I'm a lawyer, literally, right?
Why does this not surprise me that this is what your job would be as a lawyer outside of the business?
I love to discuss. There's a difference between discussing, there's a difference between arguing. You're right. Discussing. To discuss is completely different to arguing, right? I will discuss with you a topic, no matter what it is. If we discuss, you disagree, I agree, beautiful. It makes the discussion that much better, right? We discuss, you state your points, I state my points, we discuss one another, we speak to one another, we understand one another, we respect one another's opinions. At the end of the day, if we don't, no one changes the other person's mind, that's cool. we agree to disagree. I still respect you. You're still a gentleman. You're still a beautiful human being. But I just disagree with that point. And you would say, well, you're not going to be like, no, fuck you. You'll be like, same thing.
No,
Thank
yeah,
you.
cool, man. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. But my thing is this. If I am, let's say, ill-informed about a topic, or if I'm don't have sufficient knowledge on a topic, and I'm discussing with you about a topic, don't condescend me. Don't speak to me like I'm lesser than you. Educate me. Speak to me. People don't understand my age group. We are the next generation. I've got nieces and nephews that are 16, 15, 17, 18, whatever.
yeah,
They are the generation coming up. If
100%.
if people my generation can't discuss with one another and actually hold a proper conversation with one another, what kind of example are we setting for the next generation? We are the next and current generation. My age group. But what about the group coming up? What kind of example are we showing them? What kind of example are we showing them to live? Are we showing them that whenever you have a disagreement with someone, you block them? What about if you have a disagreement with someone in real life? Do you punch them? What are you going to do? Like, you know?
But do you find that we're seeing this more and more in wrestling as well?
We are. We are seeing a very, very much so in wrestling. And it's happening in wrestling locally. It's happening in wrestling all around the world. And I find it wrong because what happened to when two adults, fully grown, respectful, understanding, mature adults, to sitting down, having a coffee, and talking about our differences? If I don't agree with something you say about me or what you think about me, okay, whatever. Let's talk about it. That's how you feel? Why? What have I done to you? Let's talk about it. Like, I don't understand the mindset of like, nah, fuck you. I don't want to speak to you. Get lost. Why? And you know what it is? Let me tell you what it is. It's because people, firstly, are too chicken shit. That's firstly to actually be an adult and speak, right? And then secondly, people, it's a weird like, it's a weird balance in the sense where shouldn't people judge too much, and then people aren't judging enough, and that's why our community is, excuse me, fucked up. Let me say this is what I mean about judging. If you do something, for example, very, very wrong, it's wrong. You shouldn't have done it. Disrespectful, whatever.
Yeah.
I shouldn't come to you in front of everybody and put you up on it. You know what I would do? I'll tell you, Piers, follow me, please, or let's go talk outside, or somewhere where there's nobody, and I'd educate you. I'd be like, hey, this was wrong. You shouldn't have done this. It was very disrespectful. You should be better. Because our whole goal in wrestling is either be better or fuck off. Either help the scene or fuck off. Right? So I shouldn't want to act like a fucking hero and come to you in front of the whole backstage and be like, oh, yeah, rah, 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 rah. I'm just a piece of shit. Look at me. I'm moral hero.
Yeah.
It's like donating money. When someone donates money and they announce it, you're a piece of shit. Right? But when you donate money and you're quiet, good on you. No one needs to know that you donated money. Who needs to know that you donated money to poor people? Why are you gonna make it seem like a thing?
Yeah. Why make a scene out of it?
Exactly. Oh wow, sure. Like, all right, if you were trying to do good, you just fucked it. Literally. You know? So
Are you talking about like just like people going on Twitter and just calling people out as opposed to it instead of having conversations? Sending out a tweet or sending out a Facebook message or something, or a Facebook post or a social media post as opposed to a DM or a phone call or going up to someone.
That's a bitch move. Me, you'll never catch me fucking quoting someone on Twitter, or sorry, tweeting and tagging someone on Twitter, or even what do they call it? I don't even know, bro. What do they call it?
Tweeting.
Yeah, not tweeting, like tweeting, but in the sense of alluding to somebody. As they say, if you think this tweet is
cryptic shit.
Yeah. Like if you what is it? If you think this is about you and the shoe fits, then it is. No, I'll never do that. As I said, if I have a problem with you, Piers, I'm very old school mindset and respectful in the sense where I have a problem with you, I will message you. If you spoke shit about me, I'll message you. Why? What did I do? Why are you mad? Tell me. Like,
What's the
hey,
problem?
brother.
What's the fucking problem? Yeah.
Hey, brother, that was quite disrespectful of you. This is what I'll message, for example. Like, hey, brother, that was quite disrespectful of you to tweet my name out like that when me and you, we go back. Why couldn't you just have messaged me? You know, like I'm not I'm not someone that uh I'm not someone that wants to fight
Mm.
in the sense of just for the sake of fighting. You know, I'm somebody that wouldn't fight because one, I'm smart enough not to get into dumb situations, and two, I'm smart enough to not go to jail, and three, why people that yell and scream and fight are people that aren't intelligent enough to hold a discussion and to be able to speak to somebody and bring their point across with proper verbiage and word.
100%, bro. And it's like the people that have to sort of get louder and start getting more insulting, like fuck you and your mama, fuck you and
Mm,
your, you know what I mean? Like, bro, if that's the only argument, like, this is going to sound stupid, but like me and my wife, when we have arguments, bro, I don't call her names. I don't yell at
mm,
her, bro. And like, and I was telling this to a friend. He's like, why? And I'm like, why am I going to call the mother of my children a bitch because we're having an
mm,
argument? Why are we
mm.
going to? And I was like, bro, my wife has 3 degrees.
Yeah,
She's a school teacher. She's a
yeah,
smart, intelligent human being. I like to think I've
yeah.
got half a brain going on upstairs. That I've got half a brain that we can have an adult conversation, an intelligent adult conversation, have a disagreement without having to go, you bitch, you prick, you know what I mean? Or like belittling each other in front of our
Mm,
kids or in front of people or even just
hmm.
doing that to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's childish.
It is. You're right. And you know what they say? You know, dogs bark the loudest, and all bark and no bite. For
Yeah,
me,
man.
even in relationships, I feel like a man who is confident in himself of being a man and confident of himself, being a gentleman and respectful and knows who the woman he is with, knows what she's about. There is no need, and even, not forget about even women, like in a friend group, in professional relationships or whatever. You don't need to scream and shout and argue. Scream, shout, and yell and fight. If you are smart enough, intelligent enough, and aware of how a man should act in public to keep his respect and honor, then you will keep your words limited in the sense of not yelling and screaming, but really being able to speak to whoever you are speaking, bring your point across intelligently so they understand and you can diffuse the situation. Because I'm speaking with you right now. If we disagree, why the hell? Like, what Aussies? We're obviously gonna swear. That's fine. But there's no need for us to, start saying unnecessary things. You know,
Yeah.
trying to
There's no point for insults or anything like that because
exactly.
it's not going to win. And I believe we've probably had conversations where we haven't agreed all the time. It's just that to remember it because it was such a non-eventful thing for either of us, bro. Obviously,
Yeah,
that we can't sit here and go, oh, I remember that time at backstage at this show when you were
yeah.
talking about this and I didn't agree. No, because it's not that big of a fucking deal, man. But
That's it.
like, bro,
Literally.
I feel like we've literally spoken for an hour, man. We've spoken very little about the wrestling, scene and what's been going on there with you, man.
Oh
But
fuck.
honestly, bro, like I think we should probably hit on a little bit of stuff here. But
Go for it.
man, like you're wrestling, bro. You're starting to get yourself more and more out there, bro. Like you're starting to get yourself on more and more shows. Moving back down from Melbourne. So you're originally from Sydney and you moved to Melbourne, then back down to Sydney. So like, what was it that drew you back down to like the PWA gym? What was it there about them that was the place was that for you?
I always so when I moved back to Sydney, I always was going to go to PWA. Like I knew I PWA is like, I don't know if this is probably not biased, just based on what's been happening in the past year, but I feel like PWA is probably the best promotion right now in Australia. Um, if not, it is one of the top three, I would say. But I reckon it is the top promotion in Australia now. It is amazing. Everything about it is great. The people is great, are great, I should say. The vibe is amazing. Everybody about it is respectful. Everybody is inclusive. Everybody is is like tolerant of one another. And again, as I said, we are here to lift one another up. So seeing PWA and seeing what it was when I was still in Melbourne, and obviously with Melbourne we get wrestlers in MCW, we had wrestlers coming from PWA and all that.
Yeah.
So speaking to them, I knew that that's the place to be, because where else would I go in Australia to learn? Honestly, like let me
Yeah.
tell you something. When you have your head trainers, Robbie Eagles, Madison Eagles, Mick Moretti, Ricky South, why would you want to go anywhere else?
Mm.
Honestly, like
Nah, 100%.
that's self-explanatory. Honestly.
Yeah. And like for you, what is the ultimate goal for you in wrestling though? Like what is it that you want to get out of this?
For me, my ultimate goal in wrestling is to make a living full time. That's my thing. Like in the sense of I want to do this full time because I enjoy it. It's fun. I want to get signed if that's what it is. Get a contract. But what happens? Like I'm very, as they say, it's all in God's hands. If it
Yeah.
happens, I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it happen, no matter what it is. I'm gonna put in the work and I'm gonna make sure it happens. But like the rest is up to God. But I will do everything that I can to put in the work to make it happen. If it happens, perfect. That's what I want. Get signed, do this full time. Tell me what's better. Tell me what is better than doing what you love around the world, traveling the world, getting paid for it. Getting paid to travel the world. Come on.
100%. Oh, bro, there'd be nothing better to do that. But
Mm.
I feel like in the last year, seeing you get around more on shows, seeing your character really sort of develop and taking more of its own, and that I feel like the last 12 months we have seen a little bit of a rise from you, really. Like I think your game has sort of stepped up a little bit.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that compliment. And for me, it wasn't enough. It's nowhere near enough. I don't think it was anywhere near enough. This year, I plan to take at least 10 steps more, 10 steps up. If that was a step up, I'm looking for 10 and 20. That's my goal. My goal is to wrestle on more shows more consistently, especially PWA shows. Um, also going back to MCW, wrestling for the promotion that I started at, I would love that as well. And really traveling all over Australia, that's something I would love to do to wrestle. That's something that I would really, really like to do. And that's pretty much my goals for this year, to take 10 steps up, be more consistent on PWA, be consistent on MCW. And I feel the thing is that people don't know is that for me and my character, I haven't even scratched the surface. For me and who I am, I haven't scratched the surface. I have so much planned, I have so much in the tank that I want to do, but it's all in due time. All in due time. And that's that's the idea.
What's the overall feedback like that you get from PWA? Like when you're going there and saying like, where do I need to be? What do I need to work on?
Mhm.
Where do you think are the areas that you need to work on to improve to solidify, yourself getting on more shows?
Um, I hmm, that's that's a good question in the sense, because I obviously, as you know, like I said earlier, I go training, I keep going training, putting in that work. So for me, it's more, I guess, in a general sense, just to keep going to training to really hone that and really double down and buckle down on everything as a whole, just to
Mm.
get better. Really, I don't think I'm lacking in many areas at all. I think, as I say, like a once in a lifetime talent. That's just not a nickname, not a moniker. That's who I am, and I stick to that, and I believe in that, and I've got to portray that, and I've got to be that. So everything is really, as again, you practice makes perfect. You're never going to be the best. You got to practice, be better, and learn more. And sorry, learn more as you're practicing, because you don't want to stay the same. So you get boring, right? You got to adapt and
Yeah.
get with the times.
Yeah. But
You
what
know,
would you say is the one area that you feel like not held you back, but one area that you feel isn't the strongest as others?
honestly, nothing comes to mind, and
Mm.
that's the truth. I can't pinpoint something like that. I generally can't. Um, you know, Ramadan ended now, as I stated. So now it's time to get back in shape, lose more weight, look better, get my stamina back up. But in a general sense of like resting, I don't really know. I don't think, I personally don't believe there is.
All
So
right.
yeah.
There you go. Mr. Confident. He's ready to rock and roll, ready for that main event. Let's get him booked. Let's get him
That's
going.
it.
Next year, we'll
That's
have
it.
him at WrestleMania. But, ladies and
Ah,
gentlemen, it is that time of the show. It's that time for 60 Seconds with Piers. How this is going to work, I've got a bunch of questions I'm going to throw at Mr. Prince. He's got 60 seconds to answer as many of these motherfuckers as he can before the clock runs out. All right, brother, you ready for me to get the clock started?
go for it.
All right, man. First one up. Snapchat or TikTok?
Snapchat.
What would your autobiography be called?
The best to ever fucking do it.
What is one thing that you have tried that you'll never try again?
Fuck, I don't know. Fuck me. That's a hard one. I don't think I've tried anything that I don't like, to be honest.
If you could turn into someone else for a day and live their life, who would it be?
Oof. Cristiano Ronaldo.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
Never been to one.
Would you rather own a boat or a plane?
That's a fucking hard one, I'll tell you that. Fuck, I don't know. Let's go plane.
If you could change the result of any wrestling match in the history of professional wrestling, what would it be and why?
Fucking Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Or
If you,
Undertaker versus Batista. Batista break that fucking streak.
how old were you when you found out about Santa Claus?
Who?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. If you were to release an album, what genre of music would it be?
Oh, rap, hip hop. Yeah.
Favorite holiday
100%.
destination?
Fuck. Let's go Lebanon.
And last one, in 5 minutes' time, you are being shipped to outer space. What two personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
Oh. Do I have reception up there?
Yeah, bro, you got everything. Just not
I'll take
humans.
my phone. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
my phone. And a pillow. Let me give you that. Everything's up there ready. Food, drink, water, everything I want. So I'll just take a pillow and a fucking phone, and that's all I want. And clothes, obviously.
There you go. He's taking a phone, pillow, and that is 60 Seconds with Piers with KE Prince. But
I wanna just say something very quickly, right?
Sure.
I just want to touch on something very quickly. Talking about discussing earlier, the wrestling scene has been, especially when your last podcast or two podcasts ago, whatever it was, I believe, the Tyson Gibbs one.
Yeah,
Yeah, a while back. Shit, it felt like 2 weeks ago. Can't keep. You can't keep track of time when you're traveling the world. You know how it is. Anyways, I saw a lot of backlash due to that, right? And I saw a lot of people. You got a lot of hate. You were telling me you got a lot of hate due to that, which is definitely undeserved, right? And I just feel that the wrestling community as a whole should become more tolerant of one another and should, as we stated earlier, should agree to disagree and sit down and have talks, right? Like, women are the jewel of our sport. Women are literally the jewel of our sport. They are a special attraction. They are wrestlers, they are athletes, they put in the work as hard as we do. They do exactly what we do, sometimes even better, right? But just the way I see it is that, in any sport, let's speak for real now, in any other sport in the world, right? Women never want to fight or play with men because they know their disadvantages with playing with men, right? They know they can never, like, we're just built different biologically, and that's not even me being rude or disrespectful. And please, this is, if I'm saying anything wrong, someone educate me. I'm very open to discussing, as you probably found out within this podcast. Men and women are just biologically built differently. Men have, transitioned into females and have gone and broken and won their powerlifting records, and it's sad to see. Honestly, it is. And then men have also transitioned to women and played as been in the MMA, and as you know, and really injured a woman, an actual woman, by knocking them out. And because there's a big difference, in you want to go to science, you want to go to biology, especially for people that only believe through science, right? Well, the science is there, you know, but it comes back to women all over the world in any other sport. They don't want to play with men because they know it's different and it's unfair. So in wrestling as well, if a man is going to face a woman, it definitely has to be believable. It definitely has to be something that is believable and that could actually happen. Like, you can't go put a woman with Brock Lesnar. Who's going to win?
It
You know
depends
what I
on
mean?
depends who the woman is.
Exactly. Exactly. But again, it has to be believable, right? Like it can't be something that's not believable and very, very far-fetched. And again, my mindset when I enter the ring, and I've told you this before, is this is real. This is life or death. I'm not walking in here that it is scripted or it's fake because when we walk in there, the fans walk in to watch something real. The fans want to be wowed. So when I walk in there, I walk in there doing my job. I don't walk in there thinking it's fake fighting or whatever because it's not that. Wrestling is wrestling. I don't care what you want to call it. I don't care what you think it is in your mind. Wrestling is wrestling. And when we first walk in on the first day of training, we are told suspension of disbelief. That's what we're told. And that's what we do. When you see fans like they watch a match and they're 1, 2, and he kicks out and they're losing their mind and they're jumping up and they're smacking their heads, is that them thinking this is fake fighting or is that them thinking this is real?
No, that's them in the moment.
Exactly. In the moment of thinking it's real,
100%. Yeah.
because that's what it is. And
Yeah.
that's what it comes back to. Like, let me tell you this. I'm gonna put this out there. I think Australian female wrestlers are probably the best female wrestlers in the world. I'm going to name a few right now. Jessica Choi, probably one of the greatest wrestlers in Australia right now, right?
Yeah. Men or women.
Yeah, man or woman. That's what I meant, man or woman. Charlie Evans, great wrestler. You have Xena wrestling in Stardom in Japan. You know, you have you know, sorry, I'm blanking now, but you also have Delta. Delta is absolutely amazing.
Delta's a
Absolutely.
beast. Delta is an
Delta,
absolute beast.
she is a beast. She's a unit, like she is a beast, amazing person, amazing wrestlers, every single one of them. You have like, here you have Rita Stone as well, who's doing really well.
Mm.
You have
Cherry
so many.
Stevens, so many
Sherry
of them.
Stevens, amazing wrestler, amazing human being. Sherry Stevens is absolutely amazing. And you know why all these women are amazing? And I do apologize if I'm leaving a few women off the top of my head. I do apologize. But
No,
these women are amazing because they do the work. They're doing what we do. They are making it work, right? If wrestling, it's always a story. If you can make it work, then make it work, make it believable. But we as well, like as the backlash that you received was unjustified, and I don't think that anyone should scream at someone or be so disrespectful to someone just because they have a difference of opinion. As I've said it from the
it wasn't,
beginning.
bro, it wasn't even my opinion. You know what I mean? Like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's
we
the reason I put that episode back out, bro, because it's like so many people were trying to change the fucking narrative and try and mention it and mention things that weren't even said, bro, from him or me or
exactly.
anything like that. So I put that episode back out there, bro, and it's out there because I just felt like it was necessary that it was out there.
100%. I don't blame you. And again, like as I stated from the beginning of this podcast, if I am ill informed and if I have insufficient knowledge of a subject, please educate me. Talk to me. Don't go on Twitter and cry about it and be like, "Oh my God, he said this." No, shoot me a DM, message me. Be like, "Hey, what you said was I don't agree with, and this is why." And I will be like,
Yeah,
"Thank
bro.
you very much," and I understand. Tell me, educate me, change my mind. I am open-minded. I'm open to be changed, but change it. Don't sit there and try to be disrespectful. Don't sit there and scream. I'm not being disrespectful. Have I said anything towards any group or any belief or anything that's disrespectful at all?
No, I don't think you've been disrespectful at all. I don't think what you said has been disrespectful at all. I think that for the most part, you know, it comes down to people not being willing to have an open conversation and not willing to really speak to people who that they feel have upset them or done them wrong in some sort of way. And that's where it is. And that's where we kept on talking, where we spoke about before. It's like, it's easier for people just to go and do a cryptic fucking tweet or like do a cryptic post or go behind a fucking keyboard to do a whatever it is, bro. That's what people feel comfortable in doing. And it's the whole
100%.
confrontation thing, which I don't know, maybe people are just scared of confrontation or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but it's wrong. I just wanted to bring that up just to in the defense of you, in the sense of what you were tweeted or what people have said or DM'd or whatever is not, it's not justified. It's very wrong. We in a community should be better, right? We in a community should lift each other up. We should advise one another. We should educate one another. We shouldn't try to push each other out. We should genuinely try to educate one another. And again, speak to one another. Like, it comes back to that thing. We live in a democracy. We live in a multicultural society. What's the point of having a democracy if we cannot speak to one another and discuss without you getting mad and wanting to block me or cancel me or leave me out of society? I might as well just go live in a dictatorship. Okay.
Bro, that's just how it is, man, unfortunately. And I feel like that sort of mindset is slowly changing and it's slowly leaving. And I think that open communication is a smart thing and it's a way to learn as well. But as well, man, like, we work in a business with this is where it's like, bro, things are sometimes going to be said, but also there has to be an understanding that sometimes like, look at it for what it is. It's, in an industry that's always working, bro, people get upset and sometimes can't see the forest from the trees.
100%. You're 100% right. And like, it's like, it's very sad to see, right? Because we shouldn't be like that. And you know what's funny? Like, everybody that knows, especially us in Australian wrestling, we are very big on our women's wrestlers. We support them. I personally support them so much. The women know I support them. I'm by their side. I will always do everything I can. Bro. Like, of course, as you are the same. They are, like I said, there are jewels, right? They are, like, let's be honest, probably at times in the Attitude Era where probably women drew more than the men at times. Like, and even afterwards, and even now, like, look, who was the hottest free agent? Like this is international, but this is all just a perspective of, like, we had Sasha Banks, where we have the Japanese women that are doing absolutely amazing in Japan. We have like the American women on the Indies as well. There's so many to name, so I'm not going to bother naming them. But even in Australia, yeah, literally. And it comes back to here, like, we have, I reckon, the best women in the world. Like, again, I'm gonna, because they're Australian, I'm gonna start naming them just from the top. But to begin with, Rhea Ripley, amazing things. Indy Hartwell, amazing things. Steph Delander, amazing things. Jessica Troy, amazing things. Charlie Evans, amazing things. Cherry Stevens, amazing things. Rita Stone, amazing things. We have Zena in Japan over there, amazing things. Like, all of PWA's women are amazing. All the women in Australia are doing really, really well. And that's what we want more of. If anything, I would encourage more women to come to wrestling. We need more women representation in Australian wrestling. And that's like, if you look at the scene, we do need more women in Australian wrestling, and they are always more than welcome to join, regardless of which company it is.
100%, bro. I think well said, man. Very well said. But on that note, man, I think it's time that we ride off into the sunset. We hit there. It's that home bell, bro. But man, KE Prince, thank you for joining. Man, I appreciate you. Guys, make sure you go and follow KE Prince on all social media. Go and give him a follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. While you're at it, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please 5-star review that bitch. I appreciate it.
Tell him. If you want a piece of shit, if you want a scumbag, if you want a peasant, if you want a dog, you follow this podcast, and then you go and you follow me afterwards. You know where to find me, KE Prince PW. There we go. And to stay bookings, anywhere bookings, let's do this.
That's it, man. Hey, but we're going to ride off. You guys have a good night. We'll take care. You guys take care. KE Prince, I appreciate you, man. We'll see you guys very soon. Take care. All the best. Peace.